This is an icebox refrigerator. I know that our family had one because we still have an old ice house. So if they have an ice house, they had to have had an icebox. So I just picked this up at this year's Madison Balkville Antique Show. And I know it's a refrigerator because it says refrigerator, model 702. It's been refinished once. There's the inside. This top I know was redone because that is new tin as opposed to that tin. Down here they put some kind of, I don't know, stick-on vinyl. I'm going to have to get that all out of there because one of the things I noticed, there's the water drain. Down here, close that, open that up. I don't know if you can see it. There's the water drain. However, how does the water get from that water drain down there? So I gotta fix that. And they've also got, I don't know, some kind of wood attachment to make it stay. It looks like it was from some kind of a ruler. We can fix it. But it didn't cost a lot and it wasn't terribly big. Now I notice that probably these were rusty and they sprayed it with some kind of bronze. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it, but and there is one other thing. I got to get it set up so I can show you. Okay, with it upside down you can see where the drain is. I didn't get a drain pan, but I can get one made. One interesting thing, look at the beadboard on the bottom. That's kind of unusual. So anyway, that is going to be our ice chest refrigerator to put in the kitchen. I may, when I get all done, put some ice in it and see if I can get it down to what I would assume would be 40 to 45 degrees. Now when I said it was refinished, if you notice there's a little bit of white in that groove. So that means that somebody had painted this thing white at one time. And then they took it back to the natural oak, and that's what I'm going to leave it. Now I don't know what it's going to take to get this stuff off. I'm hoping that my heat gun will do it. It looks like it's going to take it off, but I'm still going to have a lot of scraping to do. Well, I've resorted to these tools, and it's kind of coming. You can see it's going to take a long time. Somebody decided to tart it up, and obviously when they put that vinyl on the bottom and covered up the drain hole, it was never going to be used as an icebox. Well, I'm getting tired of scraping, so I'm starting to pull it from the other side. where there's a little bit of body, and I can melt the glue. And that's kind of working. Not perfect. In any event, anything I'm doing is slow. And even then, see, I'm still leaving some. So, I'd like to meet the woman who put that on. I'd like to have a long discussion with her. Well, I'm about an hour in on getting this off just on the door. It's been miserable. Well, there. So that part's done. And that's all the stuff that I took off. Now I got some 4/0 steel wool from Howard's, and I started on this corner. It polishes it up pretty good. I'm almost thinking that area in there I should probably maybe take some mineral spirits. This corner came out pretty decent, but I think it's gobbing up my steel wool, so I'm going to try some mineral spirits. Well, the mineral spirits definitely seems to do the trick. It'll get it back to acceptable. I don't know what it ever looked like when it was brand new, but I think that's a lot better than it was when I started. And again, with this project, like every other project, no matter how bad a job I do, it will come out better than when I started. Okay, another half, 3/4 of an hour. I'm getting better at it, apparently. I got the bottom all scraped. And if you notice, there's the drain, and that's got to connect to that right there. I assume they used a hose. Don't know for certain, but I'm guessing a hose. But if you notice the difference between that door and that, the galvanizing, the zinc, is pretty much all gone. So that's probably why it was covered, to make it look purty. Well, we can fix that because Rust-Oleum makes a cold galvanizing compound, and I intend to spray that on and then maybe put a clear coat on it, and it should look pretty good, hopefully. But anyway, that's where we are right now. I still got to do the back. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, as you can see, the bottom, the zinc is all gone. So I've got this cold galvanizing. I'm going to give that a shot, see what happens. There. I'll give that a try, see if that is any better. I may have to clear coat it. We'll see. I made a couple interesting observations. This block that went right there, which matches that block, was up and not in place. So I pulled it out, a couple nails, but if you notice the nails, they're indented, which makes me think that it was driven in with some kind of a nail gun. Because I wouldn't think they'd go around and set those nails, because there was one other nail I pulled out. That's the type of nail. You wouldn't set a nail with a head like that unless it was driven in, you know, with some kind of a machine. But anyway, I realized why. Well, you can see in there. I may have to get a light. There. That is that. And for some reason, that one is down just fine. So what I think is that this block has to have some kind of a hole in it so that that will set down on top of it. So I'm going to drill myself a hole and put that back in, because that block really wasn't doing much. But because of what it looks like a machine-driven nail, this is probably not nearly as old as I thought it was, but it doesn't matter. It'll work. I was just hoping for a bit older. But then again, if it was older, the condition wouldn't have been as good. Stuff would have been rotted out. I got the nails driven back, and I got a little section cut out. So now, when I set that in, that sets right up tight. So I will glue it and re-nail it. This had old-fashioned wooden rollers, but the lock is gone. Now I could probably try to fix it, but the thing is, this one, as you can see, it is totally wore out, so I'm just probably going to get some reproduction units. Well, the old wooden casters are coming off, and I chose these wooden casters. They're a bit smaller, but down in here they've got, you can see them, they got ball bearings, so it should spin a lot easier. But they are, this distance here is about the same as that, but this diameter is much bigger than that, so it's going to set a little closer to the ground, but you deal with it. Oh, I forgot to say that these are the new plates that are going in. And no, I couldn't use the new casters with the old plates. They would go in, but they wouldn't lock. This end is smaller than that end. The big thing is trying to get those old plates off. They don't want to come. I got some PB Blaster on them, and I've been prying. But I think I'm going to end up peeling the plate with the little stars, or the little tongs that go into the wood, off, just like I did that one. So the only way to get those out, after you break the little tab off right here, get that broke off. And that's basically just with this tool and a hammer. So now I'm just going to drill it out. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get those out of there. Now this goes in and it'll be pounded into place. So with that base driven in, there. And there's the action of the ball bearings. So there's one. I got 3 more to go. Now I have found some interesting things about this hardware, which is making me think that this icebox was made in the 40s or 50s. Okay, starting off, this is one of the hinges for the top where the ice goes in. It was painted. It looks like there was some kind of a nickel or something under it. This is the other side that I used the brass wheel. I took the paint off, and then I polished it up. It probably was a nickel finish, and they're steel. But the interesting thing is, on this one, see, they're all steel. Here, they're steel. Those are brass. Very interesting. Also, this has some marks on it. KBC RS34 right, because it's a right-hand latch, which makes me think that it's fairly modern. Now this is steel, that is brass, that's brass. So it's a mixture. And on this particular one, I don't know whether you can see it, but if you look down in, right there, that is the original painted finish. It's kind of a bright brass. This is kind of a dull brass, and you can see that it's definitely been painted. So, did they use just multiple parts to put it together, or did somebody, when they refinished it and took all the white paint off it, because I found, you know, in that one seam that it looked like white paint, did they put a mixture of replacement hinge parts? I don't know. But with that label there, that certainly makes me think that it's a later production. And I know that they were made past World War II. Not many, but there was some. Now maybe the box itself is old, but I can't tell because it doesn't have a label or anything. But, so anyway, I'm not sure how I'm going to refinish those. I could put just a clear coat on that, or I could spray it. I think I got some chrome paint. Hold a second. Yeah, I got some chrome. I don't know whether it's going to be any good or not. Rust-Oleum metallic. It's never really as shiny as that. Or I could put it back a little bit brighter than that. Try to get it back to maybe what that was. I don't know. Everything's up in the air right now. But that's what I'm finding. I'm going to give this a shot with this metallic paint here. Rust-Oleum metallic. And just see how it is going to look. Because if it doesn't work, I can always take it off. Okay, we'll let that dry, and I mean initially it doesn't look too bad, but again it's paint, so it'll probably come off unless I clear coat it. Now here's the other hinge from the top. right there, that shiny finish, that is what it initially was. So while I'm waiting for the other side to dry, I was just curious. I had some Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel, and I'm wondering if I sprayed that on, if I might like that better. Because I read the container for the spray can of the chrome, and it says not recommended to clear coat. So we'll let those two dry, and then we'll compare. Okay, I have made my decision. This was the chrome paint, and this was just polished and clear coated with that Rust-Oleum clear enamel. I think I'm going with that. I do not like that. But there is the handle. That turned out to be nothing but steel. The latch, this is brass, that's steel. Get it over here in the picture. So that's brass, that's steel. The interesting thing is the catch, that's aluminum. Interesting. So I know this is definitely parts as parts and much later. So what I'm going to do is all of the metal, including the brass, is going to be the clear coated like that. That's going to be stripped off, repolished, and then sprayed. And then the only thing I've got left is the hinges on the lower door. These are the hinges from the upper door. Now here I've got the lower compartment hinges. They were kind of a chrome or nickel initially, so that's what I'm going to put them back to. It peels it off pretty good. So there you go. That's done. Now I've just got to polish it. Put some Simichrome polish on, and then I just polish. That's what the top looks like before the final cleaning. It's getting warm. Well, there you go. I just got to clean that up. And after a good cleaning with alcohol, that's what you end up with. It's not bad. It's not quite as shiny as I would like, but the metal is a little bit pitted. It's either that or replace all the hinges with repos. And these could be repos, I don't know. Now this is the cold galvanizing zinc that I sprayed on. I've let it set for a week. I know the can said that it was good in 24 hours, but I also read online where people said that it would take a week or more to harden up. So it seems pretty good, but they didn't say that it was extremely durable. So the can said if I'm going to seal it, it has to be a latex clear. Now try to find a latex clear. very difficult. You can't find it in a spray can, but Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Ultra Cover Gloss Clear Premium Latex Paint. That's the only thing that will work. So I am going to pop this thing open and put a coat on, let it set for 4 hours. Okay, so there's what we got. I'm assuming that's going to dry clear. If I bugger it up, I can always start again. It's thick and gooey. If I set anything in here, I just don't want it eating up that semi-soft zinc. I would much prefer that it stays reasonably pristine. Well, I'm just finishing up here. Putting this on kind of early in the morning, so 4 hours later I can get a second coat and possibly even be able to get a third coat. So there it is. We'll have to see. I don't know whether, if it's going to show on the sides, I'll have to do a little bit better job, but I was just kind of slopping it on. So come back in about 4 hours when it's dry and see what happens. So what I ended up doing to tidy it up a little bit is I went one brush width across, and then on both sides I went up to the first level with the sealant, and I think that is probably going to be okay. Should have been a bit more careful, but I wasn't. But as always, it's going to be better than the way I found it. Yeah, I mean, I could do the whole inside, but I don't know that it's necessary. So that's the inside. Now I've got to probably address the outside. Do something with the finish. Now, since the finish isn't too bad, it just needs kind of a refreshing. I got out the Howard's Restorer Finish in walnut, 4/0 steel wool with some stuff on it. That out of there. And we'll see what happens. Looks like it's going to deepen it a little. Or maybe bring it back to what it was. Actually, I'm kind of liking, I don't know whether it shows it on camera, but it is definitely bringing it back out. So I'm thinking that the color I chose is pretty good. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to help. Got a little stain right there. I don't know whether that 4/0 will take it out or not. I don't think it's gonna. Oh well. I'm not terribly concerned. So, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, is Howard's Restorer Finish in walnut. I think it brings it back pretty good. So now I think I should be wiping this dry, like it said. I don't think that looks too bad. Maybe what I could have done is on the sides, I should do a little bit. At this point in time, I'm ready to install the hinges right here. However, if you remember earlier, I had 3 different kinds of screws. Now I could have gone to Home Depot and bought a package of 8x1 wood screws, but they would have been Phillips. So what I did was I went to American Integrated Supply and I ordered 40 of the galvanized 8x1 with a oval head, and they are, I think they said they were galvanized, so it would have been roughly what they were supposed to be back in the day. So let's see what this has to say here. Eight by one oval head, slotted wood screws, steel, zinc plated. I think total was about, it's not on here, but I think I paid around $12 to get the 40 screws. There's the screws right there. You can order any number that you want. They will sell you 1 or 1,000. And alrighty. So you can see they're oval. Number 8s. Now I needed 7/8, but you just can't buy 7/8. They just don't exist anymore. So let's spin this around on the new casters and see about putting this in. Get that screw. I mean, most people would have probably just gone and bought the screws from Home Depot, but to do it right, you need slot head, and I'm trying to do it right. So let's crank that one down. Third one here. Yes, this is taking a lot more time than a screw gun, doing it the old-fashioned way. Get in there. That was obviously one of the screw holes that had one of the smaller screws. Because with 3 different sizes, and some were brass and some were not. So that looks pretty good. I would say that's nearly factory. So then it's just a matter of aligning this up and putting the top in. And I'll come back when I get it all done. Well, as you can see, I've got all the hardware on, and it looks, period, it looks correct, and it works. You can't ask for any more, and it's a whole lot better than it was when I started, which is the goal. And there's the icebox refrigerator with all the hardware on. The only thing I had to do is I took a little Tri-Flow Teflon lubricant and put it on the hinges so that they'd work smooth, so that now I got out the Howard's Feed and Wax and left it for about 15 minutes in a bucket of hot water out of the tap, so it's not solid anymore. Makes it so much easier to apply. So much easier to apply. And you got that nice orange smell too. Yep. Well, this old girl hasn't looked this good in a long time, I'm betting you. Yep. I think it's been used and abused. Probably out of frame doing the top, but I think it ought to get done just a little. Alrighty. Now we'll let that dry and then we'll rub it out, and I'll do the rest of the case. Now it's time for the final rub out. The Howard's Feed and Wax has been on there about 20 minutes or so, and we'll just give it a quick rub. More care than this old girl has seen in a long time. I know the family had one. Why have an ice house if you didn't have a ice box? But I don't remember it, and I don't remember anybody in the family ever talking about it. That's when I had the opportunity to talk about it. I was just a dumb kid. So, give this a quick rub down.